While reflecting back on what Marvel Studios has done with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier's first season, Marvel Studios VP and Production and Development Nate Moore recently talked to IndieWire about the future of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier franchise, and specifically about the ideas of a second season. So let's get to that. So before we get to the second season, it's important that I highlight something else that he talked about in that interview, and it's specifically the story, the drama, the direction, and the characters that they decided to use in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. From John Walker to Isaiah Bradley to taking on this giant, worldwide conspiracy and so many things, that was something that he said that's not really something that you can put into a 2-hour movie. But long form, 6 hours, you're allowed this time to live with these characters, to go to these different locations and spend a little bit more time in every single location. And then he transitioned over to the possibilities and what Marvel wants, what Marvel would need, saying that he's kicked around and tossed around the ideas of doing subsequent seasons because there's so much potential there. But like everything else with Marvel Studios, it's one season at a time, one project at a time, and one character beat at a time. And if you think about what he's saying there, again, it makes sense. You can't follow up WandaVision's first season with a WandaVision season 2 right away, because then you're literally picking up into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. The way that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier ends, there's quite clearly a lot that has to move past where they leave it off, and some of these characters have new outlooks on life, a more optimistic approach to everything. Some characters have now become new characters. I mean, there's so many different things to factor into it. And if you think about it, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a second season, lends itself way more to something like a second and a third season than you would get something like a WandaVision follow-up. And Loki, for example, that's something you can continue. So, as he's saying, they've tossed around some ideas, but it's really all a matter of what happens. And I think this goes all the way back to the early MCU days. And from the very early start, they planned a Black Widow and a Hawkeye film. And War Machine at one point was supposed to happen right after the Avengers. But things changed because the direction of the franchise changed. And I think that's sort of what they're looking at. It's like things are always changing and are always in a state of flux and moving around. So we have to approach it one at a time. And if there is a need for a second season or a new season with Falcon and Winter Soldier, well, we'll get to it when it fits what we're planning.